Hey everybody, it's Gene Kim, welcome back. Today I wanted to go into my background and my creative journey and where I'm coming from and where One Last Monster comes from. I was born in Korea in the late 80s, but I grew up in New York City, surrounded by what felt like the entire universe buzzing outside my doorstep every second. In 1999, my fourth grade teacher, Havelock Hughes, and his godson, Daniel Mason, started Kid Vision Films at my school. It was a 2-week summer camp where they taught us how to make movies, first on Hi-8 and then on Mini DV. When I was 12, this stuff was absolutely dynamite. It was so cool to play around with picture and sound. I made a feature film called The Wrath of Esteban. Pretty terrible, was chaotic. My friends and I were running around on cardboard sets with Mini DV cameras. I was layering in crude CGI from a program called Infinity, which was a very low-end 3D program as a 5th grader. Everything looked ridiculous, but for me, it was proof that my imagination could turn simple things, friends, a room, software, into an entire fictional universe. In high school, I made a bunch of other short films, and that was the first time I tried to say something honest artistically, I think, and not just chase spectacle and chaos. And they were dreamy, a little melancholy, and it showed me that story could carry emotion. Around that time in 2003, my parents bought me a camera that changed my creative journey, Panasonic DVX100. It felt like holding a key to another world. And that camera took me to NISA, the New York State Summer School of the Arts, a 4-week summer program in upstate New York that completely changed my life twice. At NISA, I found my first real community of artists, people who believed that storytelling wasn't just entertainment, that making art wasn't just a hobby, but it was how we made sense of being alive. We stayed up late filming, laughing, creating together, enjoying the wonderful upstate New York July summer nights. And after that experience, fully on fire and inspired by NISA, in 2003 and 2004, I created a sci-fi short film called Touch the Stars, and it was a film that showed me that I could try to move people and not just try to create something that was surface level. For me, this project was special because it reunited me with one of my dearest friends, Devon Barden, also a NISA alum, as he was cast in the film as the main antagonist. I'd like to think that that film is a distant ancestor of One Last Monster, trying to combine style with substance. In college, I went to Korea my sophomore year through Yonsei University's summer program, which is a pretty famous program for Korean Americans and other international students in Seoul. I met my best friend Donnie Hampton there, and I got to film a documentary with him called A Heart Full of Seoul about Korea. And I think the friendships and experiences I had there that summer in 2008 planted the seed for One Last Monster further. The next summer in 2009, I was very lucky to be one of 10 students selected to join the Pixar undergraduate program internship at Pixar Animation Studios in Emeryville, California. It was super surreal getting to work on stuff there and to train under the crew, which was working on Toy Story 3 at the time. A few years after college, after I graduated, I joined Blue Sky Studios, which created the Ice Age and Rio films, and there I worked on Epic, Rio 2, the Peanuts movie, and part of Ice Age 5. They were later bought out by Disney, which was interesting. Working at Blue Sky, I continued to learn more about discipline, teamwork, and what it takes to build visual beauty and captivating experiences at scale. But somewhere in that pipeline, in that process, I felt the spark that drove me to become an artist start to flicker, because I felt like I wasn't growing as an artist, and I wasn't learning how to create great stories after a while. I was just becoming a cog in a giant corporate machine that was pumping out soulless movies, as much as I liked the place. So I left. I moved back home with my parents to New Jersey, still holding on to that same dream I had when I was in 5th grade, to tell stories and create universes. That means something. And that's where One Last Monster was born, a story about fear, faith, and transformation. It took years, and there were nights, for sure, where I almost gave up, but it reminded me that even finishing something is an act of hope. When I look back at everything now, it feels like I've lived several lives in a way, each one teaching me loss and doubt and wonder and struggle. They all add up to something positive. And that the magic of creation doesn't live inside a studio or a corporate machine. It lives simply in stories, whoever creates them. Thanks for listening. If you want to support the channel, we have a Patreon that we've started and other links below to our digital goods store. You can check out the description and stay tuned for more One Last Monster content. Thank you for your support.